What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Happy Saturday to you. Hope you are all doing well. Well, we are here with Raising Kanan. I did watch it last night, but honestly, I was tired, and so that's why I didn't come back and do the review. But we are here now. So we are on season 4, episode 3, and I forgot that I was talking to Treese last night, and I forgot that season 5 is already done. So we already know, and I feel like that might be the last season. I don't know; they might be able to squeeze out of season 6. But the funny thing about prequels is, at a certain point, prequels are going to run into the original. And I know they're doing Power Origins, so they can't go but so far with the prequel with Raising Kanan, because then it's going to start spilling over into Origins, which is where we get the origin story of Tommy and Ghost. Because at some point Tommy and Ghost gotta come into the picture, because yeah, we're running into it. But anyway, let's get into this episode. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all and tell y'all I'm really not enjoying this unique situation. I'm really not sure where we're going with this unique storyline, and I'm just not feeling it. I don't like it. I didn't like the fact that they had unalive unique. I felt like that was premature. I understand that there were some real life situations with Joey Badass having certain, commitments or whatever, but I know that things can be done, and I just feel like there was a better way of handling this, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I almost wish they just would have played in our face and just had him survive that assault miraculously. They play in our face with a whole lot of other stuff. Like, they literally play in our face all the damn time. So I'm kind of like, I'm like really on the fence about this whole situation. But let's get into it. I'm sorry, I've rambled for 5 minutes, so let's get into it. So we start this episode off. We have Joey. That's great. Call him. We have Unique confronting Hong and his wife. Hong is their last name because they're related to the other Hong. Isn't that their last name? The Chinese restaurant couple. We see him confront them, and he's on this like revenge thing. So I guess he's just gonna go around exacting his revenge from everybody that he felt like did him wrong. So here he is with the Hongs, and he robs them and unalives them, right? Leaves them there. And I like the way they did it. It was almost like they did it, basically saying they love you to each other with their eyes. It was very poetic the way it happened. Because of course he feels like that was his setup, that was his connect, and Rock then came and took it, this whole revenge thing. So there we have that, and he robbed him. So because he needs money, he broke, he don't have no money. So I guess that's gonna help him a little something. He did a few things with it. We'll get to that later on in the episode. So then we get back to the house with Marvin. Lord, I was great call. Why do I want to keep calling these people by their real names? I was going to call him Malcolm. With Marvin and Jukebox eating breakfast, and Marvin is letting Jukebox know, listen, you got to get this situation straight with the army. Like, I get it. Didn't work for you. You didn't like it. That's fine. I ain't about to sit here and be mad about it. But you really got to figure this out. And she was like, I got it covered. I got it covered. Well, next thing you know, there's a at the door, and who is it? The army knocking. Because in my mind, I was thinking that last week. I was like, when they come looking for her, the first place they're going to go is her house. And that's exactly what they did. They came knocking at the door. She opens up the door, and there's 2 officers, and they're like, private. Now, I personally am not familiar with the process of joining the army, so I can't call bullshit on this, because I honestly don't know, right? But what I am going to say is they come in, and Jukebox basically finesses them into getting her. I think they call it, what did she say it was called? Damn, I should have wrote it down. Early discharge or something like that, which I guess basically means you tried it, you didn't like it, you wanted to go home. And what they were explaining to her was, okay, that is not just a free for all. Like that is a very specific type of discharge, a specific type of discharge, and there's paperwork involved that you have to support. You know, you have to have some documentation to support why you want to leave. And she said, okay, well, I'm gay. I mean, is that enough documentation for you? Can I just go ahead and call a thing? Again, never been in the military. Can't say what's true or what's not true. But here's what I am going to say. We just gonna call a thing. And Xavier, if you think I'm wrong, you can speak up for the team. There's always been a double standard when it comes to homosexuality. For some reason, 2 women is not as egregious or as offensive as 2 men. And I personally do not feel like it would have been that easy. I personally feel like for her to just be like, because I mean, people have used the I'm gay to get out of the military before, and it has to be, you can't just be like, I'm gay. But for whatever reason, it worked. And they were like, all right, fine. You're going to get your little early discharge, you know, early bird discharge or whatever. But I just don't think it's that easy. But we're going to let them have it. I almost wish they had done more with this. Maybe had her go through a process, like almost maybe even had her arrested and taken back, which is certainly what I think would have happened in real life, is that they would have actually made her go back and actually go through a process. Like, I just can't see that she could sit in her living room and tell them, yeah, I'm gay. So what you going to do with that? Like, I just don't think it's that easy. But neither here nor there, child. She done got out the military, okay? Juke is out the military. And then the rest of this episode, I'm gonna try to go in order. We'll get to that. When I used to do my pre-recorded, I would just kind of finish out her story, but we'll go scene by scene. So I think it's just rare, but I can't say for certain. Most stories from this time involve men. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Again, I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying it just seemed real easy to me. You know, again, a throwaway storyline. I feel like we spent all last season with Jukebox going through this back and forth. Do I want to do it? Do I not want to do it? Do I want to go? Do I not want to go? I just feel like, I don't know. It just seemed like we could have done more with it. But I'm trying not to be too nitpicky. But at the same time, I just have to tell y'all, especially if I'm doing this live, I just got to tell y'all how I feel. J Love said, I'm starting to feel like I did when Kanan survived that original fire. Yeah, ain't nowhere in the world Kanan was supposed to survive that fire. And even if he survived that fire, you still got to explain to me how his ass got from New York to DC fully engulfed, you know what I'm saying? Burnt and then back. Child, whatever. But child, that was 10 years ago. We're going to just let that be where it is, honey. We're just going to let that be where it is. Now, we also see Kanan finally trying to come to terms with his grandmother dying. I don't think that Kanan fully understood and came to terms with with the fact that his grandmother is dying. So we see him bringing her medicine, and he was like, so is this medicine gonna make you feel better? And she was like, Kanan, I don't think you understood what the doctor said. Like, I'm past that. You know what I mean? And he was like, well, the doctor said there was some stuff you could do. And she was like, no, the doctor said that nothing I do is going to change the fact that I'm dying. So she was like, yeah, I'm terminal. Like, this cancer is taking me out. And it was almost like you physically saw Kanan accept it, like you could tell that he really truly did not want to accept that was the reality, right? But it is what it is. We see that Lou done let B Rilla sleep on his couch, and it is not working out. Like, listen, you need to get your own place. We need to figure this out. And we're going to get to that scene in a minute, but we'll get to that in a minute. But Lou basically says we need to, get the record label to help you because this is not working for me. Like this right here is not working for me. So we need to get the record label to help you out or whatever. So you know how they they're introducing what the storylines of the episode are going to be. So there's that. We see Juke cleaning out her bedroom. We just getting started, itty bitty. We just getting started. You ain't missed a whole lot. We see Juke cleaning out her bedroom, and she's throwing away her. We see her pull out her butter costume. Out. Well, I don't know if it's costume outfit, whatever. And she kind of gives it that look like whatever. She throws it away. She's throwing her combat boots away. Like she's getting rid of all of that past Juke. And I'm sure there's a symbolism in that like all the old Juke is gone, right? The pursuing a music career Juke, the not really figuring out her future Juke. Now, here's the other situation. Here's the other thing. And I know we jumped 3 months. I understand that we jumped from last season to this season. I get it. But when they gave us that flashback episode, the one thing I wish they had given us in that flashback episode was Juke graduating from high school. Because next thing you know, we see her registering for classes down at the community college, but we never saw her graduate. And I understand that we don't have to see every single thing, but I feel like we could have just saw a glimpse of it. Like maybe even a picture sitting on Marvin's table from the graduation so we know what happened. Because, girl, how you registering for college classes? Because we never see them go to school. I mean, we never see them go to school. Whatever. Moving right along, especially since now we found out in this episode that Rock never graduated from high school. Marvin probably never graduated from high school. Lou might have. So the fact that Juke did, I feel like it would have been a big deal in the Thomas household. But again, maybe that's me being nitpicky, but I just thought it was weird. I just thought it was weird. But okay, moving right along. So Marvin is rolling past. Marvin is rolling past the Chinese restaurant and he sees all the police activity and he asks the police what went down and they tell him. So he runs to Rock and he's like, yo, they took him out. Like, now they think it's just a robbery, maybe one of their rivals, maybe somebody in the neighborhood that figured out what was going on, because the fact that they were robbed, like it'd be one thing if they were unalived and just the restaurant was robbed, but the fact that the stash is gone, which, that lets you know that this was somebody that knew what they had going on. You know what I mean? That's something that they knew, that somebody knew what was going on in that restaurant. So of course he runs to Rock and Rock's like, dang, we need to protect our other restaurants, make sure that, we're not under attack, to see if this is random. And this is the wrong time because Quan is already on my ass. And, that was his family, Mr. Hung, he gonna have an issue with it. Like, this is the last thing I need right now. It's too much going on. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, I was trying to hit the mute button, so I went and sneezed in y'all's ear. Hit the wrong button. Sorry. So, on their way out the door, so she tells Marvin, look, go, you need to go figure out who did this. You need to go smoke out the streets. Marvin, of course, immediately thinks it's the nephew who they caught stealing, last week. Which isn't a bad thought. Because he was stealing, he was stealing from them. Thank you, Xavier. They was desperate for the money, yada, yada, yada. But she tells Marvin, look, but we have to be sure. I'm sure we have flashbacks of the guy that they killed, thinking he was a snitch, and come to find out he wasn't really a snitch. She was like, but we got to be sure. Like make sure that you know before you do anything. So then she throws out there, oh yeah, when I was talking to Andre, he said that the FBI saw you coming out of Stefano's spot. Marvin was like, what you talking about? That must be somebody else. That ain't me. She was like, Marvin, they know what you look like. Like that ain't they not gonna it ain't no just random black dude coming out of Stefano's spot. Like they know it's you, Marvin. And he was like, so you gonna believe them? Because you know that's what they do. They lie to us to try to get us to fight with each other. He was like, it wasn't me. Now, here's the thing. It's one thing for Rock to think it and have that information. It's something totally different for you to straight up lie in Rock's face. Marvin, you in danger. Moving right along. So then we see Crystal going to the apartment, and Unique is coming out of the apartment, and he bumps Crystal. And Crystal was like, you could at least say you sorry. And Unique turns around and gives her that mean mug, and he's, squints up at her. Now, let me say this. Again, not trying to be nitpicky, but we're going to call a thing a thing. Unique doesn't look that different. Yes, he's got the little stitches in his head. Yes, his eye got the little cock thing working. But he is moving around in the neighborhood as if nobody will recognize him. I understand that Early told you that you were the invisible man, but I don't think he meant in broad daylight in the middle of the day. I think he meant moving the shadows, moving stealth. Unique is literally just walking down the street in the middle of the hood that he used to run, that he used to have soldiers on every corner, and don't nobody recognize you. No, nobody say, yo, that dude look like Unique. Wait a minute. And the thing is, people have a walk about them. People have a certain swagger about them. Like, you could see somebody that you really know walking down the street and be like, yo, that look like Unique. Now, because here's the reality. Nobody ever got confirmation that Unique died. They just know he disappeared. And the assumption is that he died. So I'm so confused about how Unique is moving around in broad daylight. Like, I know Crystal doesn't know what he looks like. I'm not worried about the fact that Crystal didn't recognize him. I'm just talking about nobody on the street know this dude. He's been missing for, let's just say, give or take 6 months. It ain't like he's been gone for 6 years. And there was never a body. You was chalking it up to the clothes. I mean, with a hoodie on, I get it. But I don't know. It just seems weird to me that he is just moving around. Like I said, when it was in the shadows at night, okay. But in broad daylight, bruh. But okay. Again, y'all, I'm not trying to be too nitpicky. Hey, DeMarcus, what's up, boo? Thank you. Yeah, I hit 2K subs on this channel. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. So, Unique used to be flashy and clean. Now he looks like a raggedy bum. That's true, Xavier. But again, I don't know. Because here's the thing, and maybe this is just me growing up in the 80s and 90s when I would see drug dealers go from the top of the heap to the bottom of the barrel if they started using their own supply. You know what I'm saying? I've seen drug dealers go from flashy, driving a nice car, having money, and then you see them 3-4 months later and they living on the street because they started getting high on their own supply. If it were me, I would just be like, damn, Unique bad. Unique doing bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hit hard times. Like, damn. Because again, he still looks like Unique for the exception of, the scars. He still looks like Unique. But okay, again, not trying to be too nitpicky. I ain't trying to be too nitpicky. So, Crystal is, now here's the thing. Crystal wasn't wrong. When Crystal told Kanan, this is dumb that you are literally doing business out of the place that you lay your head. That's not smart. You really need to find somewhere else to live. And he says, shoot, I'm trying to cut costs. I ain't trying to find more money, find more ways to spend money. But even if you get an apartment in that same building, but on a different floor, that's a smarter move than what you're doing. And she's absolutely correct. And in that scene, when she's explaining that to Kanan and explaining that to Kanan, all I could think of was, now we see the typical woman that we've seen throughout the Power universe, right? We see Rock, we see Tasha, we see Monet, right? We see all of these women who have the business mind and are the helpmate to these men that are running these illegal empires, right? I saw that in Crystal. Which makes me think that Crystal might be around for a little while because I kind of see that in her, but neither here nor there. Unique hit rock bottom, no pun intended. Ha, that's funny. That's funny. So she convinces Kanan to go look at some apartments or whatever. So I guess they're gonna go play house. She done told Kanan that, you know, her mama's boyfriend has been touching her or whatever, and that's why she's staying with him. I don't know if I 100% believe that. I feel like that's a story she told him so that he wouldn't object to her moving in and being there semi full time. I kind of just don't feel, I don't know. And I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying I don't believe it. I just think that that was what she told him so she could stay at the house. But that's me. Anyway. Right. Rock told Kanan the same thing. Exactly. We see them go look at a couple of apartments, and then they run into this racist dude who don't want to rent to them because either he think they too young or think they too black, whatever. And then we see him basically finesse his way into a pretty decent, looks like a pretty nice apartment where he finesses his way into it, right? So I guess they about to play house, whatever. I hate they use the same storyline, just like Effie is so Tyler Perry. Yeah, I guess I could see the similarities with Effie. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, boo. Crystal is a younger version of Rock. Yeah. I can agree. And that's why her and Rock are either going to be enemies or they're going to get along. They're either going to hate each other or they're going to be cool. One of the two. Because she checks Rock later on when Rock comes by the apartment. And I love how Rock handled her. And I love how she sort of handled Rock. So we'll see how they continue to move throughout the next couple of seasons. Because I think she's going to be a while for a while. Then again, this is Power Child. They could kill her next week. I don't know. But anyway, Rock goes to visit Hong, you know, basically extend her condolences, let him know that this, you know, that they're on it. They're, you know, they're going to find out who did it. And, you know, and Hong starts acting like he kind of want to pull out. And she was like, oh, no. Like, listen, I'm sorry about what happened to your family. We're going to do the best that we can to rectify the situation. But please understand. Please know and please understand. We married. And it ain't no divorce in this. You know too much about me. You know too much about my operation for me to let you walk away nicely. So yeah, no, that's a wrap. We in this together. We go together real bad. Okay. Rock was like, we go together real bad. Okay. So then we have this scene between B-Rilla, Lou, and the record executive. Yeah, I'm just not sure how I felt about this scene because at first I thought Lou and the record executive set this up to play like good cop, bad cop, to try to get B-Rilla in line. You know what I'm saying? At first I was like, okay, they already set this up. They're going to go back and forth and then he's going to give him some money, but let him know this is the last time and da-da-da-da-da. But this went really far down the road of uncomfortable racial history. Like, it was a lot. And I don't know, this was like their subtle writers' subtle way of giving us like the history of how Jewish people got in the music industry. I don't know. But the only thing I got out of that scene, I don't like B-Rilla. I think he's a disrespectful ass. Like, there's no way in the world. Now, don't get me wrong. I know crazy shit have happened when it comes to artists and the record labels. I mean, they say that Rick James literally stood on the desk of the MCA president when he was on MCA. I think it was MCA. Literally stood on that man's desk high on coke and, you know, demanded whatever he was demanding. Like, I know crazy shit goes down. Like, I get it. But I just felt like in that moment, Lowell, thank you. Lowell had he had the upper hand. Like, he had no reason to give into anything, to give B Rilla anything. They said he already gave him in advance. He had gotten him out of jail multiple times, and he hadn't really delivered on what he was supposed to deliver. So I didn't even understand that whole scene unless it was already set up between him and Lou that he would give him the money, but this would like ingratiate him to Lou even more. Like, I don't know, to be honest with you. But the only thing I do know that happened in that scene, and I'm telling y'all now, B Rilla going rob the hell out of Lowell. Did y'all hear when Lowell talked about how his father and grandfather didn't even trust banks? And he was like, that's just that whole stereotype about Jewish people in banks. And the funny thing is that most Jews, my father and grandfather didn't even trust banks, and they kept stacks of money in the house. And then he was like, yeah, a practice that I hate to admit that I do to this day. So you just told this mofo who literally just he not even done. He's parole. I mean, he's on bond for robbery, that you keep stacks of cash in your house. I said, oh, he about to rob his ass. Oh, yeah, he about to go. And I don't know if he's going to end up killing him. Something's going to happen. He's going to go rob him, and I don't know if he's going to kill him, and then he's going to go to Lou, and for Lou to help him get out of it. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but he is absolutely going to show up at that man's house at some point in the future to rob him. And either A, he going to get away with it, and Lowell is going to know he did it, or B, Lowell is going to catch him, and he going to get killed. Something going to happen. But the minute he said that, I said, oh, okay. So we know what's going to happen in the next couple of episodes. That man going to get robbed. Moving right along. Rock is still trying to get Andre on the phone because, of course, Andre is dead. Now, I don't know why don't nobody know that Andre is dead yet, but Andre is dead. We know. We saw that last episode. Rock is calling him, and he ain't calling her back, obviously. And then she gets a letter from Kanan's school basically saying he ain't been coming to school. Surprise, surprise. Now, what I find interesting is that last season, if Kanan jaywalked, social services was at Rock's door like, knock, 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 knock. But he missing so much school that they sending letters. Now, all of a sudden, ain't nobody there. Rock get a letter in the mail. Nobody called her. Don't nobody know nothing. Like, I was like, okay, that's all right then. Social services just don't care no more. All right. So she spends the rest of the damn episode looking for Kanan to confront Kanan about why he ain't coming to school, child. Rock only got one letter in 4 years from that school. Right. Not only that, but does Rock even still live in the jurisdiction of where I think we had that conversation last season? But does Rock even live in the jurisdiction? Because Kanan should have been put out of that school. That can't be the neighborhood school. That school that Kanan go to cannot be the school in the neighborhood where Rock lives. It just can't be the same school. But okay. Because the fact that they're sending letters to that address tells me that they know where she lives. But it just can't be the same one. But anyway. I think it's because she scared that last social service lady. But yeah, that's not how it works, Xavier. I mean, I hear what you're saying, that she's threatened that lady and scared her. But that's just not how that works. That's not how it works. But okay. I mean, it's power. So that's how it works. That's how it works. Right. The school Kanan goes to got metal detectors in the 90s. That is not the same school that's in that neighborhood where Rock live. Okay. Ooh, hold on a second. So we see Jukebox down at the community college registering for classes, and she's indecisive because honestly, she don't know what she wants to do. She's gone down to the community college because basically that's what she was told she should do. She don't know what she wants to do. The military didn't work out. Butter didn't work out. You know, Crystal is with Kanan. The other girl from Butter is, down at Spelman, and she's just sort of floundering. She runs into old boy from her old crew that remember when they used to rob. When they used to boost the stuff. She runs into him. He's actually at community college. She runs into him and he's like, yo, Juke, come down to the bar, hang out with the fellas. They would love to see you. And she was like, yeah, I might. I'm not sure. I might. Do zoning laws still apply if a student is an adult? Yes, zoning laws apply until you graduate. It doesn't matter if you're 18. If you are still enrolled in that school, then yes, you have to be in the jurisdiction of that school. And if you're outside of the boundaries of that school, it has to be under certain circumstances. Now, in some cases, they'll let students stay if it's their senior year. They'll let them stay at their high school so they can graduate from the school. Like if you move out of the neighborhood, but you still, they might let you stay knowing, oh, well, this isn't their neighborhood anymore, but they've been here for 4 years. We're going to let them graduate with their class. But with all the problems that Kanan has been doing, they'd have kicked him out. They'd have been like, we were giving you a courtesy by letting you stay here. You have abused that courtesy, so we're asking you to go. Yeah, nah, they would have put him out. They would have put him out. So anyway, so they invite Jukebox to come down to the bar, what have you, whatever. So Kanan rolls up on the nephew because he thinks that the nephew, he thinks the nephew was the one that robbed the aunt and uncle. He quickly realizes that the nephew did not do it. He remembers that couple had kids. They had a daughter, and so he was like, "Yo, go take care of your daughter. Go take care of your niece. She's going or cousin. Sorry, your cousin. She's going to need you now. And sorry about your aunt and uncle, right?" So I'm glad that Marvin didn't just unalive that boy. Okay, but anyway. Rock goes to Kanan's apartment. That's when she has the run-in with Crystal. And she was like, yeah, I can tell you've been staying here because I ain't never seen this place look this clean before. And she was like, tell Kanan I came by. Crystal was like, are you asking me or you telling me? She was like, baby, anytime you make Rock take off her sunglasses, I said, Rock was like, your name's Crystal, right? I said, ooh. I said, ooh. I said, ooh. So yeah, like I said, they either gonna be friends or foes. Ain't gonna really be a whole lot of in between with them. Or actually, Rock could just be indifferent to her all the way around. I don't know. We'll see how that progresses. We see Kanan and Jukebox having lunch, and they're talking about Famous, and basically Kanan is like, look, I don't know where Famous is. Like, the streets are saying that they think he's snitching. I tried to ask his mom, but I didn't want to ask her too many questions because if he is snitching, I didn't want to put her in the middle of nothing. He was like, I don't know where he is, and Jukebox was like, that's not Famous. Like, that's not how he is. Like, he wouldn't, he wouldn't snitch on you. He wouldn't put your name in his mouth. But I'm thinking to myself, yeah, Jukebox, but you don't know how Kanan treated Famous at the end. Like, you don't know, what Kanan did, put him out the apartment, called him all kinds of names, talked to him like shit. I'm not saying that Famous is or is not snitching, but Jukebox, the Famous Kanan dynamic prior to them falling out. So I think if she knew how badly they fell out or how nasty it got at the end, that she might have a different thought process. Don't know. Yeah, Crystal signed her death warrant with that. Crystal ain't lasted long. Famous mom is a big snitch. Ooh, I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you what I do think. I know we saw in the trailer where Jukebox looked like Jukebox got her gun raised at somebody, and I think it's Famous. Because the way that she was defending, how hard she was defending him in this scene, like, it can't be him. It can't be him. It can't be him. I think they're going to find out that maybe Famous has been under protection snitching, and, I don't know, but that's how I feel. She also lets Kanan know, listen, I'm done living in secret. I like girls, and it is what it is. And anybody that don't like it, oh well. Like, I'm living my life loud and proud, and I'm gonna be who I am. And of course, Kanan was in full support of that. So yay to them. Marvin goes to visit early. Excuse me, I keep wanting to say Ely. Marvin goes to visit early. and basically says, listen, you heard anything about, what happened to the couple down at the Chinese spot? He was like, no, I ain't heard nothing about it. He was like, well, can you keep an ear to the streets and let me know if you hear anything? And he gives Early some money. And then he asked him, hey, your sister still work for social services? Because I need to find somebody. And I forgot all about, damn it. I forgot about the guy's kids. The guy who was the snitch. I forgot all about his kids. So he ended up going to visit one of the daughters, take her some money, give her his phone number. He really did love them kids, y'all. He really, 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 really thought he really did love those kids. I thought Juke came out the closet 2 seasons ago. She did, but she didn't. I mean, she did, but I think it was sort of a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing versus now. I mean, because we see at the end of the episode, Gerald, we see at the end of the episode how she, we'll get to that, but I think it's a little different. It's one thing for the people around you to kind of know and other people to assume. It's something different to totally live your life in that way. We see Lou getting his chip down at his AA meeting, and Rock is actually there. So congratulations. Good for you, Rock, that you're there to support your brother on this milestone. I don't know what chip it is. I don't know if it's a 6-month chip, whatever. I guess it's a 6-month chip, 3-month chip, whatever. But he's getting a chip, and he tells the story about the night that he was going to unalive himself and what made him stop and why, he is where he is. And Rock was like, I ain't know it got that bad. And he was like, yeah, it did. You know what I mean? Yeah, it got that bad. She said, you good now? Like you still thinking like that? And he was like, nah, I'm good now. I'm good. I'm better. He was like, no, he said, you never get over something like that, but I'm better. Basically like, look, this is a process, but you ain't got to worry about me, trying to do it tonight. We good today, kind of thing. Jukebox does go down to the bar to hang out with her old crew, but she quickly realizes, yeah, I've sort of outgrown this because they're still heisting people. They're still out here boosting. And basically they're letting her know we're making more money than we were when you were doing it. You need to come on back to the crew. You'll be good. And she was like, nah, I really ain't trying to do that anymore. I'm kind of trying to do some other things. And they were like, what you mean? Like, what's better than this? What's better than making money? What's better? So she realizes that, and she keeps telling them, nah, I'm not really interested. And they keep trying to get her to, well, come on and try it. Come on and do it. Come on. And it's like, she's like, but I'm not really interested. So she says, okay, well, I'm going to the bathroom, and she ends up leaving. And at the end of the episode, we see that she has found her way to a gay bar, and she's standing out front. You could see that she's kind of like nervous because at first I didn't know, it sounded like it was live music coming out of the bar. I thought it was an open mic night at first. I didn't think it was a gay bar. And this woman walks up to her and says, yeah, it took me a long time to get up enough nerve to go in too. And then one day I just realized, who cares what these people think of me? I'm going to do me. And I'm still thinking that Jukebox is contemplating going into this bar and singing because it really sounded like it was live music coming out of the bar. So she introduced herself to Juke. She said, come on, I won't let anybody get you. Come on in with me. And when they go in, it's a gay bar, and Jukebox is in heaven. Like, she is smiling. Like, I ain't seen Jukebox smile this much. When she, she is smiling. She's meeting people. She's asking, questions or whatever. And she is really, truly having a good time. And that's what I mean. Like, there's a difference between, because can I say something? Jukebox looks softer now than she did in the first 2 seasons of the show. Like, the first 2 seasons of the show, I mean, I hate to say she looked gay because I hate to say it like that, but with her hair cornrowed and, just the Timberlands and now she got her hair back in a ponytail. Her makeup is very subtle, but it looks like she wearing a little something, And I'm just like, she looks softer now that she's ready to live her life loud and proud than she did in the beginning when she was hiding it, which is why I was, anyway. But we do see her go into the club. She went from stud to stem. We see Lulu and B Rilla eating some dinner, and famous song comes on the radio, and Lou turns the radio off, like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. And he was like, yo, where your boy at? Like, where is he? And he was like, he just needs some time. He just taking some time. And he was like, yeah, but like, he got a hot record. Like, this ain't the time for you to take some time off. And Lou was like, you know, he a little sensitive. He just got to process through some stuff. And then B Rilla thanks Lou for, you know, getting him the money and all that good stuff or whatever. Famous keeps coming up, so you know he's coming back. At some point, we're gonna see Famous. Now, it might be later on in the season, but we know at some point we're gonna see Famous. We see Unique leave money for his baby mama. He goes by the house. He sees her putting the baby to bed. He leaves money in the mailbox. Then we see him go and visit Early, or he went to Early first, then went to the baby mama. Either way, he went to Early's to take him the money, and Early told him, yo, was that you that put down, you know, the Chinese couple? And he was like, look, you've been riding me about this money. Now I'm here, I'm paying you. Like, don't bring it up to like don't worry about where the money came from. Just, do you want it or not? And of course he gonna take his money, because we know he want his money. But he told him, he was like, look, you playing with fire. Like, I know I told you had a superpower, but I ain't say that superpower was for you to be going out here starting wars and stuff. Like, I ain't say do that. Okay? Because I'm sure now Early is worried about if Unique is out in these streets wilding, at some point it may come back around to him. How did Unique survive? Who got him to the hospital? Like, you know, it might come back around, because they know he didn't go to a hospital. You know what I'm saying? Quan confronts Rock about basically figuring out who did what, how the streets got robbed, how his family got killed, and he wants Rock to avenge the death sooner rather than later. And Rock was like, listen, we can't rush in quick. We got, you know, if we do it too fast and we hit the wrong people, it makes us look weak. We're in the streets. We're going to find out who did it. We're going to handle it. And he was basically like, you better, you know. And Rock can't get away from him fast enough. We see Rock meeting up with Joe Quinn. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And he's basically telling Rock, look, I ain't, you know, I can't do business with you anymore. However, she said, listen, you ain't got to do business with me. Just give me the name of your person. And he was like, look, your old friend from Baltimore, you know, he got some friends in you know, down in Southeast Asia that, you know, he been doing real good for himself. And me and him re-up, you know, and maybe he'll talk to you. And so Rock don't really want to do business with him either. That's the dude going back to season 2, I think. Isn't that the guy? He said his name. Y'all know I don't remember his name. But Marvin was like, yo, let's do it. Like, let's meet up with him, because we got to do what we got to do to get from up under, you know, Quan's thumb, because we already know what he's doing, and he's going to keep doing it. He's going to keep raising the prices. He's going to keep punking us. So we got to make a move. Stefano already told her, if you can show up another connect, you know, yeah, that's what I was, you know, I was going to call him, Xavier. I was going to call him Basie Skanks. You know, that's what I was getting ready to call him. I had to stop myself from calling him Basie. Yes, that's exactly what I was getting ready to call him, from Greenleaf. Yes. I'm glad I'm not the only one that was thinking that. But, so I guess they're going to link up with him or whatever. Then we get to the Thomas family dinner, child. Everybody got called to grandma's house. And everybody knows something is up, because, I mean, again, she don't really rock with her family like this. So for her to call all her kids and the grandkids and all that stuff, you know, so they sit down for dinner. Well, first, Rock is outside smoking a cigarette, and Kanan pulls up, And she confronts Kanan about the fact that she got a letter from school. Kanan was like, look, I'm done with school. Like, I'm like, ain't no need us even having this conversation no more. I'm not, because they said he ain't been back to school since Christmas break, child. So he was like, yeah, because I'm done with school. I ain't going back. So I'm assuming that this whole essay to his grandma, so we done missed Christmas, because ain't nowhere in the, so he was writing this essay about his granddaddy before Christmas. So we didn't see no Christmas lights, no Santa Claus. We just skipped all of that. Ain't nobody had no Christmas tree. We ain't hear no 12 Days of Christmas on the radio. We just skipped all of that. Because in order for the school to call Rock to tell Rock that this boy ain't been this, that got to write this essay, and he need to write this essay in order to pass English class. And now, all of a sudden, now it's after New Year, and she getting letters in the mail saying he ain't been back to school since the New Year. That means that between episode 2 and episode 3, we had Christmas. Or was that during the unique episode, the first episode we found out? Was that the first episode that Kanan was going around interviewing all his family? Maybe Christmas happened during that window between the first episode and the second episode. Maybe that's what happened. Child, maybe that's what happened. But neither here nor there. He lets her know he done with school. And she was like, Kanan, what happened? I thought you said you wanted to go to college and graduate. He was like, no, that was you. You said I was going to go to college and graduate. He said, you can't possibly believe that after everything you made me do and that I've done, that I'm about to just go off to college and be some old regular kid. Like, you can't possibly think that's where I'm headed. High schoolers can graduate in winter now. Maybe not back in the 90s, but they can now, because we have winter graduation all the time. But maybe not, again, that might be some new stuff. Maybe not back then you couldn't. But and again, every time Kanan plays victim, there's a part of me that has to be like, but Kanan, you started this. Like, you started this way back at the beginning of this show during season 1 when you did something your mama told you to stay the hell out of. Like, you started this. So I get it that Rock has done some shit. Don't get me wrong. I'm not absolving Rock. But at the same time, you inserted yourself into this. Rock was doing everything in her power to keep you outside of it so you could be a regular kid and you could go to college and do the regular kid shit. You decided that you wanted to be hard ass and go get a gun and go unalive people and shit. You did that. But neither here nor there. Kanan always wants to start from the middle of the story and not at the beginning, but whatever. So we sitting down having dinner and Mama asked Lou about, how he doing with the alcohol, with the bar. And he said, well, I haven't really been hanging out at the bar too much because, I'm trying to stay away from alcohol right now. And she gives him this Bible verse. And, not like this biblical, the Lord won't put more on you than you can handle and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And Lou was like, yeah, all right. So they were like, oh, she quoting Bible scripture. We know something's up. She about you. So then she asked, Jukebox how she's doing. And Jukebox was like, I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out. And she was like, you too old to be figuring it out. You got to make a decision. You got to do it. You got to, you got to be ready. You got, basically getting on her about, you don't have time for that. And Marvin was like, hold up. She just got back from the army. She got time. She's figuring it out. I love how Marvin has Juke's back. Because even when the military men came in and when Jukebox was talking her shit, Marvin was like, yeah, that's what she said. My daughter, like, he had her back. Like, I just love that we don't have the same shit with Marvin. Like, Marvin did what he did. He was wrong as hell. Jukebox eventually forgave him, and they are working on their relationship. And I love the fact that Marvin isn't doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate when they do that with characters. And then, like, if Marvin was still making comments about her sexuality and like, I would be like, come on, man, we've been through this. But I love how he made the mistake and he's boom, 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 right? Rock is a hypocrite because she knew that Howard was Kanan's father, but she was mad at Kanan because he knew Joyce was dying from cancer. Oh, yeah, well, we're about to get to that. So Joyce finally tells the family that she's dying of cancer. And Rock, she gets upset. She realizes that Kanan knew, and she's pissed off. But I'm going to be honest, DeMarcus, I don't think that's the main reason why Rock is mad. I don't even think Rock is going to be mad that Kanan knew and she didn't, because that's how Rock is. But I honestly think it's bigger than that. I think it's a combination of emotions, right? I think part of it is you've been a shitty ass mom my whole life, right? Like she said, you beat us up, you treat us like shit, and then you drop this in our lap that you dying. So I think it's a combination of you've been a shitty ass mom my whole life, right? But now you tell me you're dying, and what am I supposed to do with that? Then my son knew, but I didn't know. So there's that, there's that thought process of you have a closer relationship you have a closer relationship with my son than I have with my son at this point. I think Rock is dealing with a variety of emotions, because at the end of the day, it's still her mom. And for a lot of people, them dealing with whatever trauma they dealt with her growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like good mom, bad mom, dysfunctional family, dad that unalived himself, mama that, they've got a complicated relationship. And I think Rock's response is all of that put together. You know what I'm saying? It's all of that put together. So yeah. So I think we'll see it play out over the next couple of episodes, but I think it was just her stomping out like that. I just think it's a combination. I just think it's a combination of things. Really, B, how do you feel about Lamar Jackson being in Raising Kanan as E-Tone? I don't have a thought about it at all. I mean, I don't care. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I guess I have to wait and see what his character is and how it plays out and what his acting skills look like and all of that. But I mean, I don't really have a thought about it at all. I really haven't thought about it. I don't have a thought. Rock feels like she's the head honcho and everything needs to go through her. She's the alpha and omega, but for the Thomas family. Yeah, again, like I said, I think we're going to see how it plays out, but I just think there's a mix of emotions. And again, even though Raising Kanan is my favorite spinoff out of the franchise, out of the 3 spinoffs, Raising Kanan is my favorite. There are still some deficiencies, in my opinion. And I think one of the deficiencies is we have not gotten enough backstory on the Thomas family. We do not know how we got here. We've gotten bits and pieces over the last 4 seasons or 3 seasons, because we're just in season 4. We've gotten a little sprinkle here and a little sprinkle there, but we really do not have a full picture on how we got here, right? With the dad, the mom, like we don't know why do all your kids hate you? Like we really don't have a clear picture on why all her kids hate her. Like there's got to be a reason. Like all your kids hate you, there's got to be something there. And even when she sent Kanan away and she went to go get him, we found out, when she picked him up from the beach, there's something there. Like they gave us these sprinkles and they just never really give it to us. They did the same thing with book 2. With book 2, they never really gave us Rock's backstory. And when they finally started giving it to us, we really didn't care because we knew it was the last season. Like you really didn't start giving us a lot of flashbacks and backstory. By the time you gave it to us, we didn't care anymore. Like we needed Rock's backstory season 2. And we know that they planned to do it because remember, they actually hired 2 actors to play her mom and dad. I can't remember the actors, but it was like well-known Black actors. And we were like, oh, they'll be really good. I can't remember, but I remember us having the conversation about it. We're like, oh, they'll be really good as Rock's parents. And remember I think that was supposed to be that same season when her ex-boyfriend came back, the drug dealer. Damn, I mean Monet. My bad. I meant Monet. I said Rock. I meant Monet. You're right. I meant Monet from book 2. Book 2, Monet. We were supposed to get that storyline season 2 When did her ex-boyfriend come? Ron Isley and Monique. Thank you, Xavier. I knew it was like two people that we were like, oh, they'll be good in this. Ron Isley and Monique. And was that season 3 or season 2 of Book? I really feel like we would have gotten something out of, well, they might have screwed up the backstory, but I just feel like there's something there, right? Now we got a little bit over the seasons, but I feel like it's the same thing. But I feel like they're doing the same thing now. It's like and maybe it's just me. Other people might not care, but I am curious to know, how do all your kids hate you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I am curious for that information, but neither here nor there. That's the episode. That's episode 3. The problem is that the whole age thing they did with Zeke, the backstory no longer made sense. That might be what it is too. Maybe that's what it was too. Maybe with the Zeke thing, it just didn't make sense for them to do it. All right, y'all. With that being said, I'm about to get out of here. I will talk to y'all later. Mwah! Peace.